All right. Well, we'll kick off the presentation for today. Firstly, my name is Courtney Smith. I'm the CEO and founder of Kynection. I am supremely passionate and driven by technology, and this AI revolution that is sitting in front of us is something that certainly pushes my buttons, and I believe it should push the buttons of every business. So what we're doing at Kynection is we are looking deeply into AI as part of a strategy, and we've created a series leading up to what will be a culminative event in July 25th that will show how we plan to use AI in our application Kim. We've played a little bit of a pun game in our presentations and our blogs and our podcasts, and the pun is this: everything is AI. So in this instance, we're sitting under the component of the presentation aligned Ingenuity. And for those of you who have just joined, you haven't missed much, and there will be a video afterwards. So welcome to everyone external to Kynection. Thanks for attending today, and thanks to my team for coming along. I'm always looking to try and improve and superpower businesses and the way in which they operate. So what I thought I'd do to kick off is just take you on a super quick journey. So in the time that I've been involved and running Kynection, AI has always been something in the background that was important to our business. We've looked at many things around machine learning, certainly the LLMs, which is the large language models, but it hasn't been until probably the last 6 months where there's been a mass acceleration in this space. And it's been driven off the basis of an organization primarily called OpenAI and a product called ChatGPT. Now, I'm just going to do a quick question. As far as the audience stands, would you be able to put your hand up and say, I am a very capable person when it comes to understanding AI? Could I just get a show of hands? And that's just a click on the bottom of the console there. There's a few. Wonderful. All right. So the reason why I asked that is because the next question, which will come in the slide decks later, will be around your involvement levels. And we're going to have some time at the end to talk about this. And so hopefully with the 10 or 15 minutes at the end, the questions will be fast and furious, and if I can answer them, I will, or I may take them on notes and come back. A recording will be sent out to everyone post-event. So aligned Ingenuity, what's that about? It's basically making sure that we as organizations consider the things that are important to our business, our customers, our suppliers, and we think about those unique things that we can do that can make a big difference. So we'll start off with showing you a presentation I put together in order to demonstrate some of the powers that are coming through in AI. There is an intended humor in this, so please, for those that are curious as to why I've done this, hopefully it lands for you all.
Hi, my name is Courtney Smith. I'm the founder and CEO of Kynection, and I've chosen a female avatar because ChatGPT still thinks my gender is female. We superpower complex industrial businesses like construction, transport, mining, agriculture, and field services industries, because we know it's a nightmare to collect, order, and analyze the information that matters most, your data. We strongly believe that generative AI and LLMs will change the way we work and engage with customers. It's an exciting time for our business, and I'm excited to present our Aligned Ingenuity webinar, the first in our AI series, Augmented Intelligence, which will culminate in a showcase of AI-enabled services using Kim as the source of data. I have researched and collaborated with a range of technology and industry consultants, and have seen many great use cases where AI can provide low-hanging fruit, like this presentation, that could be applied to any organization that is seeking to improve their business functions. Let's jump on this roller coaster together and get a taste for things to come at Kynection.
In simple terms, the intention here was to create an avatar, an AI avatar, which I created text for. In this instance, I created a female avatar. Why, you might ask, is because AI still doesn't know that Courtney Smith is a male. So ChatGPT and all of these tools I've been using extensively over the course of the last month or so has basically not determined yet that I'm a male, and so I thought that was appropriate as a jest. Swinging back to the presentation, I will swing back, so apologies for that. So as we go forward, I'm going to be fairly rapid in my demonstrations. To be clear, this whole presentation was created using an AI engine. That AI engine that I used, basically, I typed in, can you please create me an AI presentation? So the reason why Kynection jumped on the AI journey is really simple. Our whole premise as a business is to basically make complex industrial businesses safer, scalable, sustainable, and saleable. And in our opinion, in order to do that, we need to be providing both functional, operational capability and strong innovation as we move forward. The big ticket items that I see AI performing are going to be around a number of job functions in our business. It's been quite surprising to consider where AI has disrupted first and foremost. And in fact, there's a meme that's going around at the moment, and this is good for all of our customers and their staff and the teams in which they serve. And the meme goes like this, that there was a fluctuation of blue-collar workers looking to get out of the trenches and to jump into the innovation of digital technologies and AI. The truth of the matter is AI has actually removed a lot of the job functions. And when I say removed, augmented a lot of the job functions of white-collar workers. And so this concept of blue-collar wanting to go to white-collar has now moved back from white-collar to blue-collar. And that's a really powerful thing to consider as we step forward as humans, both in our workforce, in the way in which we operate as colleagues, and the way in which we talk to customers, is what will AI look like in 1, 5, and 10 years? And I have a strong belief that in the businesses that we serve and the businesses in which we communicate to on a daily basis, they will not easily be taken out, the roles will not be easily taken out by AI. And the main reason for that is that you cannot replace the human in the field. We need to have intelligent conversations, and we need to think about how we can augment value in our business. So a lot of the augmentation of value is happening in the white collar side, or home at base, so to speak. So let's have a little bit of fun. Is there a fair assumption in the room, and hands up if I could please, of anyone that has heard of Bard? Can you keep your hands up if you've heard of ChatGPT? Great. And finally, Inflection. Awesome. So quick little piece of information. OpenAI has been iteratively improving over the last 18 months from a commercial release of ChatGPT 3 through to what is now ChatGPT 4. Can I get a show of hands just in respect to who has actually used any of these tools, please? Oh, we've got a good room. I like it. And so what's happened is because this market is moving so quickly, we're finding that there are a lot of new competitors. The conversation at the moment is that ChatGPT started a revolution, and this revolution is a revolution like no other. It's Industry 4.0. And one of the things that's come out of the back of that is the conversation piece that English is soon to be the most powerful coding and development language in the world. Now, that might seem funny to people. How can English be the most powerful coding language in the world? Well, the truth is those that can describe things using a ChatGPT style interface, which is a prompt in the words of the AI language, can create amazing things if they know how to engage in that environment or that interface. And so we've seen some really large development take place around actually coding by using language as the methodology. The conversation around that is that we started in mainframe computers, moved to PCs, or client server, PCs. Mobile revolution went from probably hundreds of apps on the desktop to millions of apps. And the conversation in the market at the moment is that AI will take that to potentially tens to hundreds of millions of apps. Why? Because people like you and I will be able to code, in theory, using natural English language. What that provides, in my opinion, is an augmented superpower. And you'll find that our whole series that we've got, 10 podcasts, 10 blogs, and 2 key webinars, of which the next one will be tighter, because I don't know why I'm pausing on some of these screens, in such a way that it will empower everyone in every role in both their work and personal lives like no other time in history, potentially. For those that have heard about what I call the text interfaces, can someone please put up their hand, or the group please put up their hand and indicate who has heard of Stable Diffusion or Midjourney? Okay, we've got a couple of people. And out of that audience, how many have used Stable Diffusion or Midjourney? Keep your hand up, please. And that's what I found in a number of the presentations I've made in the market, is that a lot of people have heard about AI, have heard about the tools in AI, are suspicious about AI, may have played softly with the text-based, but there are a lot of other components to AI that I believe can augment businesses and the operators in business. So what I thought I'd do, and if this doesn't work, I'll just continue to talk, because this was supposed to be a very interactive presentation, pushing the boundaries. So first and foremost, I created and thought I would test an AI presentation tool, which is similar to the tool I used to create this. So I'm just going to switch to that page and talk to that. So here's a product called Gamma. My whole driver for today is to create low-hanging fruit that you can go away, play with, have some fun with, and experiment in a way that will allow you, A, learn more about what is coming, and B, actually empower your business to be better. So in this tool, Gamma allows you to create an AI PowerPoint, or what I would call a new style presentation format. In this instance here, I said, can you please create a presentation on how AI will improve industrial, construction, transport, mining, and other businesses? And this is literally what came out the back. The only things that I changed was I used an image creator, which in this instance is Stable Diffusion, which I'll show you that in a second, to create these wonderful super images that I just love as part of the presentation. So you can see here it's talked about AI tools, where they think the value propositions lie. You can see that this has created a nice visualization around where the processes will be improved in business, and continue through to a range of other elements that have come through. Now, that's a very, very highly engaging, highly visual tool that literally took about 30 minutes to put together, thanks to most of the data coming through on AI. The differences that I made was in the pictures and some of the language. I'm happy to share this with everyone after the session today. So a very powerful tool here that was created using AI. Everything in that was AI except for my final cut. So that's super powerful for anyone delivering business presentations, to suppliers, and or trying to drive outcomes where they want to engage with external parties. That tool is super powerful. So what I thought we'd do is we jump across now, and we'll go across to talk about how we can create an image using AI. So in this instance, I've already created a prompt. The power of AI is going to be about improving business process and removing what I would call the repetitive and menial tasks. And I'll show you what I mean in a sec. So if I'm a marketing comms guy or girl in this instance, and I want to provide a powerful way to improve or enhance that component of my business, one of the ways I could do that would be to use 2 tools, ChatGPT and, of course, Stable Diffusion. So in this instance, I would jump across to ChatGPT. I would choose a prompt that I want to follow. And in this instance, there's some tricks to using these prompts that a lot of people don't recognize. You have to think of it as an engaged party. You have to recognize it as an entity. It's not a being, it's an entity. It's not smart. It's super dumb, in fact, as dumb as a brick. It's just learned through 1 trillion website pages that it's trawled, and that's pretty scary in its own right. It's tapped out in its intelligence. You know, Sam Altman talks about it reaching its potential now, and next generation has to change. But in simple terms, it's a large language model. And what that means is it uses neural networks to tag information that might be relevant to other sets of information, a bit like the human brain. And so in this instance, what it's doing is it's tagging a whole set of text that's being absorbed, related around inference and context using tags. And then when you ask it a question, it literally builds sentences up based on the inference and the context of the connecting words that it knows should associate with the word prior. So is it going to be a sentient being? No. Will there be some changes in learning and how quickly it learns? Yes, particularly if these large language models start coming together. So here I am in a text prompt. I've got hundreds of text prompts on my left. And in this text prompt, I've actually asked it to superpower itself, which is how you need to think of this tool. You need to think of the actor or the person would be likely to use the information or deliver the information. So if it's a business presentation, it might be that I want an analyst or a consultant as my set actor. You then need to create context, and the context is setting some guardrails. So I need you to speak in a language type that is basic or humorous or whatever you choose. And then you need to give it a key prompt that identifies where you want it to go. In this instance, I've actually created a stable diffusion prompt, which says, please understand Stable Diffusion is a smart image creator. When you create an image, make sure you use words like artist type, location, period, etc., and then get it to do a test run on some of these things. So in this scenario, I've created that in our presentation. And so here are the prompts that you would see being created from that example. And I continue to probe it. After that, I head over to my Stable Diffusion, and I just reset that to make sure I've got credits. To give you an idea, the credits in this, I've spent $15 and probably created 500 plus images. And in this scenario, I'm just going to go and grab the prompt that I created for you, which is this prompt here. Now, the interesting thing is, because I've got some colors that I want to use, I've actually asked it to consider those colors as being important, which is another piece of the prompt that a lot of people might forget about. So in this scenario, I've just taken a prompt from ChatGPT and I've added it in and I've let it dream, and we'll see what happens. So previously, you can see that I was using this to create some of the imagery that I put in the presentation. We don't have to wait long. It's pretty powerful tool. Normally takes about 10 to 20 seconds with some bandwidth issues, which is why I think it's created these really striking visual images that I prompted, which was around combining photography and collage techniques to show a broad group of amazing women across heavy industries over the last 2 centuries, incorporate elements of technology innovation, and clearly demonstrate changes in machinery and technology across history. So you can see these wonderful prompts that have been created. If I really like the look of a particular prompt, for example, this one here, I can quickly and efficiently create variations of that theme and set a boundary for how close I want those variations to be. I can also use this as a background to the creation of a new image. For example, one I created overnight, which was I created a phoenix, and then I asked for it to create a prompt over the top, which was similar to one I gave you here, which has created the phoenix as the prompt center. And so here we have all of these quite striking visual prompts. Because this is interactive, I will ensure that we continue. I might not do full screen. So herein lies the opportunity. Success will be based on the ability for organizations and individuals to proactively innovate and transform their processes by leveraging the opportunities within a rapidly evolving dynamic landscape. What that means is, if you want to separate yourself from your competition and stay ahead of the curve, you need to start this journey. And that journey that I'm asking you to start may be as simple as engaging with a prompt engine like GPT and playing around with Dream Studio under Stable Diffusion to get a feel for how this tool can add value to your life, both personal and otherwise. There are some challenges though, and the importance around the challenges is that not every component of business can be easily augmented with AI. Some of the things we're looking at with Kim, which we believe will be super powerful, will be around the areas of grabbing large text components, i.e. knowledge bases, support FAQs, certainly quality management information, safety management information, and basically pushing that into an engine that can collate and bring together those things that I talked about around LLMs to bring reference data to the user that makes sense. So if you consider things around learning, training, and certainly information gathering, this tool will add huge value in the environment on which our customers use Kim. Why? Because we're grabbing huge amounts of data that are very specific to you and the businesses in which you operate. The challenge is, though, that we still need to consider where our security risks lie, because data is gold. And in your businesses, it can be your point of difference. We always talk about having a secret sauce that we offer your businesses, and that's around providing operational improvement across many different functions and ensuring data is transferred through each of those functions to an end result that saves time, money, and in theory, human resource where it can be applied in a much better fashion than menial tasks. We're saying now that we need to think about designing systems that trap your data, and we can safely, without giving it to the greater population, put it into a data repository that has Chinese walls, but still allows you to have the powers that come with this new generation of AI. And trust me when I say we understand the importance of security as we move very closely towards 27001. Implementation costs can be very different in each of these line items. Some of the tools I've shown today are only tens of dollars per month. I know factually that every time I've grabbed a new tool, I've put a new red cape on and become superhuman in a new way in my role. As someone that's a strategist, as someone that's a business analyst, as someone that's important to provide communication tools to those that I'm talking to and liaising with, a very, very powerful tool. And so that's been a very cost-effective way for me to spend tens of dollars a month to save potentially tens of hours per month. But when it comes to larger implementations and taking in fact security, we need to consider the costs may increase. And so whilst I would love to maintain a Kim standard of having a single cost forever for our modules, we plan to do that. Where we may find that we add variable cost is in things like the addition of AI tools and services. Automation is going to be huge, as is the ability for machine learning algorithms to take the data and interpret and provide predictive and intelligent information. I asked the tool last night to provide me the 3 fastest and largest wins that one could achieve using AI, particularly focused around industrial businesses. It gave me 3. It has given me 10, 20 before, as I'm starting to plan our products and service initiatives out to the greater audience. So AI-powered predictive maintenance for optimizing equipment time. We all know how expensive it is to run equipment in our fleets. And we all know that any downtime is a very costly exercise. We often buy, not everyone, but we often buy different OEM manufactured products that have different issues and concerns. And we also use those in unique ways that can create unique reasons for that equipment to fail or break down in field. So AI will be something that if we capture the right information around time of incident, issue, and we can go a little bit deeper in the data collection, the predictive tools of AI will be allowing us to determine effective preventative maintenance cycles and things of that nature. Intelligent route planning optimization is not new. The difference now is that it is super cost effective and it can be done with a whole range of additional components that were traditionally very hard to implement. It's the traveling salesman problem, and if anyone's done it before, the challenges around traveling salespeople problem is that you need to do it the night before, and to make any changes on the fly become very challenging. So our aims are to get a scheduler in play that will allow us to do these sorts of things to efficiently and effectively optimize fleets from a planning perspective, but to also provide fast, rapid change of that information if a customer makes a request and a change in the morning. And then finally, the tools around computer vision, which is that every single thing that we look at now is a large language model. A PDF, a painting, code, these are all trainable under large language models. We can't see the moving parts as humans, but machines can. And so the ability to look at things like incident reports or site surveys or asset surveys, where you can actually take photos or video, and the report will be self-generating to a part to identify hazards, which might be working at heights, PPE, hot permit works. These are all these things that I think are going to be revolutionised with the use of AI. So where do we think it's going to land? And my opinion is it's augmented. We're coming towards a steep renaissance. Steep being social, technological, environmental, ecological, and political. And if anyone thinks it's going to be the same in the next 10 years, I think they're kidding themselves. And so when we think about this, we need to think about the tools that can help us as humans become more efficient, can add value to our businesses to allow us as humans to be better. It's about creativity. It's about better information flow, accuracy of information, and creating that efficiency level that can be enhanced. Having said that, I'm a strong believer that we also have the risks of overindulgence and not considering the impacts of the people, the human element of our businesses. And we have to be very conscious of those things. So how could it work in a business like yours? How will it work in a business like ours? We've already started a strong campaign, and that campaign is very much focused around low-hanging fruit to start. So we've focused on some key areas. Key area one is content creation, marketing, imagery, and the delivery of strong functional content plans with really well articulated information flow for our customers around what we do and how we do it. So that's website overhauls, that's blogs, and if you look on our website, in the humour of creating everything AI, I actually created a podcast with 2 AI characters that sounds like 2 people are talking. In fact, most people in the team didn't even realise that efficient use of time and energy to provide information to others is huge. The other one is the data capture and retention of information in our business, and then being able to promptly get access to that information. So a couple of things we're doing there, a product called Guide. We're doing a lot of templating information around how we provide our FAQs, our standard operating procedures around our technology platforms and the delivery of what we provide to our customers. Very, very big opportunity. I want everyone to be doing that, because everyone together doing something that was always a mundane, pain in the bum task changes the dynamic of how we can shift information flow in our business to our people and our customers. How would you do it? Well, you've got data on one side, which is yours. You can probe and engage with that data in a number of ways, which is in the center. And most of that will be done through predetermined prompt engines and predetermined information requests that you make towards that data set, whether that's PDFs, JPEGs, whatever. And then finally, once you've got those predefined information points, you can then create user-facing apps, which will have buttons that validate certain information flow or certain information gathering, a free-to-text, voice-to-text, and many other ways to engage with those apps from an end-user perspective. We'll talk a lot more about that and demonstrate some of these things when we get to our presentation in July. And so finally, AI for businesses that create complex business workflows, the opportunities are almost endless. There's so much data flow. There's so much information, whether that's from an analytical point of view of improving data flow, of improving information and speed of information to users, or whether that's as simple as asking it questions of a strategic nature around the business in which you operate. There are huge benefits for complex businesses like the ones in which you operate, and we respect greatly. There's many challenges to overcome. Human content, how far you take it. We don't want to remove the human element, in my opinion. They are the piece that makes our organisation sing, and the human piece is something we need to focus on. At least I have a strong opinion on that. And then, of course, the ability to deal with data availability and privacy and security and trustworthiness. These are all things we need to consider. And finally, it's an opportunity to revolutionise industry. If you look at the OECD, we know that Australia doesn't sit well in productivity. I have a feeling and a strong suspicion that if you read the reports and the information flowing downstream, the governments, regulators, and a whole range of people will be looking at tools like AI to improve our productivity so that we can sustain a competitive advantage. I don't want to think a natural land like Australia with minerals and content needs to manufacture product overseas. Having said that, we do. Why? Because it's cost effective, because we haven't got better at the way in which we are productive in our businesses. So there's huge opportunities ahead of us. From my perspective, I apologise in respect to the ability to show pure demonstration. Some of those things failed, but I will have that right next time. I'm more than happy to open that to the floor and garner questions and to create an open conversation. So if you'd like to put your hand up or request to take off mute and ask questions, I'm only too happy to do that. I've covered everything. I love a presentation where I cover everything. Maz, can I ask you to please jump off mute, if that's okay? Can we do that, Erin, please?
No, I can't. I think Maz has some particular settings that don't let me.
Okay.
Turn on
the reason why, Maz, I wasn't going to put you in the hot seat. Yeah, okay, practical examples. Big ones, and please put questions up in the forum. Big ones for Kynection and Kim, I see moving forward is specifically in relation to data flow and analytics. So we capture copious amounts of information in the businesses in which we serve, and the ability to quickly get to the point of subtle nuances that one won't see as a human will be something we're working heavily on. We have some demonstrations we're working to deliver to customers around our knowledge base, specifically around training, FAQs, and the ability to drive information to users in a simpler and more engaging fashion. And we also are looking at how we can interpret data, large sets of data, for information from field use. So that's, for example, filling out our forms automatically, where practical, of course, to enable less human touch and less human error. There are a few. There's many more. Some of those will be demonstrable on the 27th of July. And we will be looking out the back of that to do some really cool things with clients that want to be first movers or early evangelists, with the simple point that we don't know everything. There's an element of exploration in this, and if customers are prepared to come on the journey with us, then we're prepared to come on the journey with them. So I would be more than welcome to feed information leading into the 27th and post in what we're hoping to do, which is a tight-knit, short, face-to-face, ideally, or webinar, yet to be determined, workshop environment with our customers that are keen to explore the opportunities of AI in their businesses. I still believe strongly that there's a huge amount of little opportunities that you can grab very quickly. And Maz, the reason why I was going to ask a question of yourself was that I noticed you put your hand up on both of the Stable Diffusion ChatGPT questions and maintained your hand up. At least I thought I saw that. And so therefore, I was curious of where you might have used it in your own capacity for value and for wins. I wake up every day super excited. I connect to, and I can give you some little hints, a couple of really cool newsletters. There's an AI for that, which I'm happy to share or have the team share out if you're interested. That's a newsletter and a website. There's also a really cool newsletter called The Neuron, and I've shared that with my team. We are actively participating in stepping into the journey. And I would suggest, like we talk in our project management delivery in the businesses in which we serve and operate, you need to think about moving into low-hanging fruit and getting users comfortable first. And I think you can do that with tools that are readily available in certain business units doing certain functions. So a little bit over today. The next one will be probably more likely to be an hour. I'm open to dialogue. If customers want to ask questions through the team, through our sales or CSM team, Mark, please feel free to ask those questions. If I can answer them, I will. If I think it's going to be on the agenda or the radar for 25th of July, I will make sure that's known in the communications that come out. We have a blog which we'll share with you. Please keep an eye on that. I'm trying to go through the AI components of what I think is augmented for human growth and value. And we certainly will be doing some very poignant and specific activities post this event. This was thrown together quickly and efficiently. Thank you for your time, and we will see you hopefully on the next one. Cheers.